lack me, here's why you need me. All right. The topic of today's coffee with Fieldy, today's water with Fieldy, since I nervously chugged all of my coffee, is where to start if you are unhappy and not too sure why. I had a really hard time with my first experience trying to find a therapist. I was aware that I was unhappy, pretty sure that I had depression. But I really did not know how to approach therapy because I didn't know what to talk about. And I have pretty bad social anxiety, so sitting me down in a small little room with a stranger asking me what was wrong when I really didn't know was like the worst. It was the worst. I didn't really make any progress there. I just sat there and cried and was like, I don't know what's wrong. You tell me. That's why I came here. Okay, Pixie, good luck with your interview. Love you, and see you later. Let us know how it goes. Yeah, my first experience with therapy did not go well. She didn't know what to do with me. I would sit there and cry, and she would just be like clearly confused about what the hell to do. And I felt, this is something I felt a little guilty about for a while, is that I always tell people when they ask me about mental health issues, I tell them that the first thing they should do is get a therapist. But I have had a really hard time benefiting from therapy. So when I went back in 2017, like after I moved back to California after my breakup and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to try therapy again now that I actually have something to talk about. I actually have some things that I know are wrong and upsetting me. So I went and tried again, and I sat down, and with my first meeting with the new therapist, I was like, I don't understand therapy. And I basically just told her that I needed a lot of guidance. I needed her to kind of extract things from me because I don't know where to go. I told her about my history and stuff, and I've done a decent job sorting things out for myself. And it's hard to know where to go because I still have feelings of not a deep depression, but I just know that I could be happier, and I don't know how to get there. And what she did for me that helped is that she gave me this handout from a book by Dr. Aldo Pucci. And it's just a little, a chart to kind of help figure out what it actually is that isn't going right in your life and what it is that you want to change. So I, of course, put this in my bullet journal where I put all of my ideas. So I'm just going to show you guys this. Oh my God, Carl, is it you? Did you take time off to get super baked and do laundry? You're doing great. Okay, so this is a list from psychiatrist Aldo Arpucci, and this is CBT 101 the first thing you do before you can solve a problem is identify the problem. So this is like step one if you don't even know what your goals are yet. I've talked a lot about goals. And I really like this because this helped me with like the actual traumas that I was going through, like things that were easy to identify, like my dog dying or my breakup or whatever, but also for the little things, like, you know, if you're just not experiencing as much joy as you want to, if you're feeling apathetic, tired a lot, any of that are things that you might not really recognize as problems with solutions that can be solved. So writing all of those down is a good way to just identify what it even is that isn't making you the happiest, best version of yourself that you can be. I made this really big. I guess I can shrink it a little bit. So I just wrote this down this morning, just the layout. I didn't fill it out. You guys don't need to know all of the things that I want to change about my life, but some things that I did put down. I guess about a year ago is when I was seeing this person. Hello, low hit. Welcome to the stream. But I was talking about this a little bit yesterday when I was talking about finding passion. If you're apathetic and don't really know what direction to go in, things that I want to do this more, be really simple things. When I was thinking about what I want to change about my life, it was some very simple things, like listen to music. I realized that I wasn't doing things that make me happy, and that I could make the choice to do more of those things. Actively looking for, like, find a new favorite song, things like this. Hey, no, I believe you, Carl. I will not eat gas station beef. Thank you. Do this less or not at all. Don't eat Carl's Jr. in bed at 3 a.m. Do this less could be bite my nails. Is it normal to eat glue? It's not normal. You shouldn't do that. It's very bad for you, actually. And then feel this more emotionally. Happy, calm, feel this less rage. There's feel this more emotionally and feel this more physically. Physically stuff like tired versus energetic. Hi, Anya. Hi, Carl. Hey, Magikarp. And then things to think more and think less. When I was going through some shit, think this more. That could be anything. It could be about your self-worth. That could be think this more. I want to be more interested in other people. Low hit. Sorry, I keep calling you low high. Low hit, you have a question. Tell me about it. I'm doing okay today. I'm a little underprepared. But that's okay. Let's distract me. How the fuck are you supposed to fold women's clothing? Oh, wow. I can't really explain it. I would have to do a video of that, but for the most part, I don't fold my clothing because my clothing is all so varied that it's really hard to get it all uniform. So I hang up most of my clothes except for pants. Pants are pretty easy to fold. I like doing. I've always the past couple years enjoy doing my boyfriend's laundry more than my own laundry because t-shirts are fun to fold. And they're all the same shape and they make a nice little stack. Can you ask a question related to choosing a career? Yes. You can ask any question you would like. The floor drop. Sorry, I'm a little unfocused today, but I did feel it was important to share this. I've been thinking about sharing it for a while just because this got me started, and it's so simple. It's so easy to sit down and write down a few things that you know that you want to change or that you might not have noticed that you wanted to change. And once it's written down, it's like a real thing, and then you can decide which of those things is the most important to work on initially, and not just will it to change in your mind, but think of actual action steps that you can take to get there. So Kite, say this is helpful, but you don't think it would help you because you know what you need to change. You just have no idea how. Do you have like an example? Because I'm kind of with you, like, and this is why I've struggled with therapy so much, because I kind of feel that same way. I'm like, I know what I know what I need to change, but how do I actually get there? But really writing all of this down made it like this was a really good first step for starting to figure out what the action is that you need to take. Simplest way of explaining is that I'm addicted to something. Okay, I'm addicted to my cell phone, so if I was filling this out with that in mind, so do this more, put my phone away. Do this less, sit on my phone. Feel this more. Maybe more having a longing to feel connected to other people. And what I wanted to change a lot was the feeling of boredom and disinterest. It bothered me a lot that I was having a hard time connecting with people, and I was having a hard time finding people interesting. And you do need to go a little deeper than I just want to do this thing less or do this more. You need to go a little deeper and think about why and what kind of thoughts do you need to have for this to happen? What would it feel like? Low hit. Let me look at your problem. You love computer programming and hacking. The problem is I'm not too good at studies. To go in the field of computer programming, you'd have to opt for the science. Since you're not too good at studying, you feel like you might fail and you're too afraid to fail. So your options are choose another career or try harder even if you fail. If this is your dream and you really want to get into this field, then you should absolutely push past the fear of failure and try to do it. I would do this and just get as much help as you can. This means getting into a school, making relationships with the professors. Tell them, if you can, I mean, if you can get into a smaller school where it's easier to have relationships with the professors, I think that will help a lot, because you can just go to them and tell them how worried you are about getting the good grades and everything, and they should be able to help you and see how much you're trying. And you know, a school, it's a business, but it's also full of people who are invested in your success. And you have a lot of resources that you can use. I would also, honestly, if you can get into therapy, if you are getting into a school, that might be a free option for you. And CBT can help you a lot with your study skills and making sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do. And if you fail, I guess the biggest risk is probably financial. Going to school is expensive. So there is that risk. I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of ways to be happy. And I think we tend to think of it like a target where there's degrees of happiness, and right there in the middle is the happy life, the best life for you. But it's not really like that. That's just one target, and there's targets all over the place. There's a lot of ways to be happy. So if you fail, it's gonna suck, but all that's gonna happen is you'll be forced to find another path that might even lead to something that works better for you. Your teachers are stupid fucking assholes. You asked your physics professor about getting good grades. The next test I get, scored 9 out of 40. What do you think it is that makes it so hard for you to succeed academically? I've struggled a lot. And I didn't struggle until I really got to college, and I mean, it was more related to my mental health issues than anything. So sorting that out is what helped me when I went back to school and took a couple more classes. But I don't know, do you have like a learning disability? Do you just struggle to understand concepts? What is the heart of your struggle? Because if you are really trying to understand and you're talking with your teachers and you're working on it, lack of concentration. I don't just want to say drugs. But I have experienced going to school with and without Vyvanse, which is similar to Ritalin or Adderall, and found it made a huge difference in my ability to focus and retain information. But yeah, there are a lot of coping methods for increasing your concentration and increasing your focus. I would have to look into it a little more to give you better advice, but a typical college should have resources for people who need to improve their study skills. They should have resources for learning disabilities. The teachers are your resource. And I'm not pressuring you to do drugs. I'm just saying that it is an option if you were interested, if you think you might have an actual attention deficit disorder, you could talk to a psychiatrist about it. Even if you don't need to be diagnosed with anything, just talking to a therapist, they can help you a lot more to make a plan and give you some structure of here's the action that you can take every day to increase your concentration and your focus. You're not in college, you're 16. Yeah, so right now you're just trying to get good grades so that you can get into a good program. Talking to your teachers hasn't been helping. Hey, that's awesome, nothing. I'm really happy for you. Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of chemicals. Sometimes it's a matter of changing your thoughts. All right. Carl's here with the Google search. That's an okay place to start. I might need to think about this a little more and get back to you. But I mean, yeah, because I don't know too much about what you're already doing, what your study skills are like. And yeah, this is very, very basic stuff. Very basic stuff. This preliminary goal setting. Thank you, Grimlock. I'm glad you think so. And then, how can you know something less? Okay, that's a good question. I think that is kind of the hardest part of filling this out. What I wrote down last time I did this, it was when my breakup was really fresh. I wrote down, I want to know less about what my ex is doing and any information regarding him and his new girlfriend. So that just entailed blocking them, not checking up on them anymore. Stuff like that. I mean, it will relate to whatever's bothering you. If you're self-conscious, maybe knowing less about what people are saying about you, not reading YouTube comments. That's pretty specific to me only. I'm sorry. Some of the examples that the doctor who wrote this book put: why my parents argue, the negative things that occur in the world that do not affect me. I don't necessarily know if those are good things or not. You've stopped gaining new knowledge, but can't stop the feeling of wanting more of the knowledge, right? I think when we get out of school, it's hard to keep the motivation to keep learning new things, because it's like, what's the end goal? We think that everything needs to lead to some type of production or increase in the money that we're able to make, but you can also just learn for learning's sake. And if you think about it, I'm sure you can think of things that you do wish you knew more about. And it doesn't have to be like French or how to play the trumpet. It can be, I want to know more about how to make people laugh. I want to know more about, I want to know more about how to feel comfortable dating. I want to know more about concentration. I want to know more about good study skills so I can get better grades. This is all extremely preliminary, just identifying what you want. Then the next step is, okay, maybe doing some research, figuring out exactly what you need to do to obtain the knowledge that you seek. Oh, I see. Right. So you blocked your ex, but how can you stop wanting to know more about what he's doing? It's hard. Changing your thoughts is very hard. I still think about my ex every day. But there's a difference between having the passing thoughts and letting yourself dwell on them. You know, when the breakup first happened and I thought about him, I would go check on his Twitter or go see if he was streaming. Terrible ideas. You can choose not to take actions that feed into continuing to think about and dwell on these things. So instead of, if I'm thinking about what he's up to, instead of doing that, what am I going to do? What would I rather have on my mind? Yeah. And yeah, I'm still figuring it out. But still got a lot of work to do on it. So when I do figure it out, I'll get back to you guys. Stream and life progress. Yeah, it's a fun project. A fun project. But yeah, I'm taking actions that will eventually lead me there. Like Carl says, cutting them out was a painful thing to do, but that's one way that I can cut down on having negative thoughts about what happened, is just not having any reminders. I can help myself make it easy to focus on other things, and instead of staying in bed all day and just being like, thinking about it nonstop. Now it's just a passing thought, and then maybe any, I don't know, little urge to act on it or do anything, you just go, nope, not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. Rune Winter, thank you so much. I'm really glad to see you watching. Forgotten Reaper says, more sex fixes everything. I can help give you an emotional boost, maybe. All right, low hit, not good at studies, not good at socializing, don't have a lot of friends, don't talk to your parents as much, don't even have a girlfriend. Tell me one fucking reason to live. Oh boy. Well, there's a lot of reasons to live. All of the problems that you just listed are things that are really difficult problems, but improvable problems. Changing the way that you feel takes a lot of effort, but it is possible. You have a lot of time to learn more, better coping skills. And honestly, if you're 16, you're in high school, I would highly suggest that you go to your school counselor. Maybe write an email to them or go in person. I know it's really hard to do, but express some of this. Say, I'm trying my best to get good grades. It's not working. I'm just not as happy as I could be with my life, and see if they can give you some guidance. That's what they're there for. It's their job to help you succeed. And they might be able to facilitate you improving your relationship with your parents so that they can also help you get whatever help you need. Or they might not. That was something that I had to learn as a teenager becoming an adult, was that there was only so much that my parents were going to be able to do for me to help me with my emotional mental health problems. And I eventually just had to stop hoping that they would do something for me and just go myself and find a therapist and sit down and try to make something work, which is hard to do if you're 16, like you don't have a job. If you're on your parents' healthcare, you can't just get a therapist through your insurance without them knowing about it. And it is really hard to do, but the sooner that you can get yourself to do it, you'll be in a much better place and be making progress. Talking, thank you so much. You're really sweet. I'm a little bit behind in chat, so sorry if I'm not responding. I've scrolled up looking at that comment. Oh, Magikarp sushi. Yeah, it's hard and it takes a lot of time to process these things. I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing at Carl's little tic-tac-toe thing. I really do like these grid notebooks because I like, I don't know, I like being able to make little modules and charts and things. Helps me. Yeah, I mean, the other thing that you're going to learn is that's some of the professionals, many of the adults that you want to look to for help might not be able to provide it, but that doesn't mean that nobody can, and it doesn't mean that you can't find that help. And yeah, whatever you're going through, whatever state of mind you're in feels eternal. When you feel bad, it really feels like you've always felt bad and you're always going to feel bad and there's no way out of it. When you feel good, it kind of feels the same way. It's hard to imagine like a time that you ever felt like you couldn't go on. Happiness is a tide. It ebbs and flows. It comes back. You have to just ride it out. And you're in a dip and you're going to come back up. You got it. Sneak mosquito. Have a good day at work. And yeah, every year of my life has gotten better since around 19. And I would say about age 12 to 19 was the most challenging, of getting kind of progressively going downhill and really feeling peak hopelessness. And boy, I'm very glad I hung in there because it's like 10 years ago. I have so many good things have happened to me in those 10 years. I'm very heartbreaking to imagine another timeline where I missed all that because I just didn't feel like I was ever going to get out of the hole. And yeah, I mean, and it feels like you're supposed to be very happy, and it's hard. It's so hard to be the age where you're supposed to be carefree or whatever, and you're like, well, this sucks, and it feels like it's only going to get worse. But I have found adulthood to be pretty fucking awesome. Every single year of my life since graduating high school has gotten progressively better, and that includes setbacks, like this 2017 was a rough year, but I still feel like overall my life happiness and meaning is continuing to go up. You keep settling into yourself and just becoming more you, confident and relaxed and settled. Let's see. I have been in a relationship for about a year. Recently, my partner started to distance herself from me. You've tried talking to her, but she avoids the topic completely. I mean, the key to any relationship is communication. So she's being avoidant. It's really hard. What have you tried saying to her? I mean, I would say that you feel a distance and you don't know why she doesn't want to address it. That's a tough one. You can't have a relationship with someone who's not really meeting you when you're trying to communicate. There is another part of this identification process. Dr. Pucci recommends doing this guy. Your life goals, not just what you want to change, but kind of a vision for what you want your life to be like overall. And this is the fun one to do, because this is where you should not think about what's possible or reasonable, but just really write down absolutely anything that you think you would want out of life. Having a castle, being an astronaut, whatever the fuck. And it can be simple too. It just be I want to have a partner that I connect with. I want to financially stable, have a nice house. I want to travel the world. I want to write a book. I want to be a physicist. I think a lot of the time we might not know what we want, because before we can really get there, there's all those parts of you that are like, nah, it's not going to work for me for whatever reason. But if you want something, really truly want it, you can find a way to get it. Just flipping the order of, instead of thinking what would be a smooth path for me, and then looking there and picking out things that you want, kind of flip the order and instead just think about anything in the entire world that you would want. And after that, you can decide whether or not they're possible or reasonable. No, we're not going to discuss how miserable and meaningless your life is. It's not meaningless. I can give you some more resources on how to find help. There is help for you, and you got to reach out and get it. And it's very hard to do that, but you can and you will do it. And you'll get on a better path. Hello, Ara. Are you late? Oh, there'll be a VOD. You'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, we don't even know you, and we care about you. You're gonna be okay. Yeah, but I know this is very simple. This is very simple stuff. Little little easy thing I wanted to share with you guys. I know we've been kind of talking about whatever, but if you are not satisfied with your life and not too sure what it is you need to change, I would spend an hour or I don't know, whatever period of time sitting down and thinking about this stuff for a while and actually writing it down, making it real. And then that's already going to get your brain thinking about what it is that you need to do. This notebook's perfect for that game where you put down lines and try to make squares. It is, absolutely. That's what I got for you guys today as far as self-improvement goes. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over.